Welcome to the 6-Minute Stretch Challenge number 13. Sarah and I are glad that you decided to join us again this week. And as we talk about the concept of hardiness as a tool to further increase your bounce back factor, this week we're going to talk about commitment. And if you've been with us the previous weeks, you know the first week we talked about challenge. The second session we did was on control. And today we will talk about commitment. And just to show you how important these are, if you remember last time, Sarah wanted control. And so she likes that. So I'm going to give her control now to talk about commitment, and I'll come back with some strategies to help you implement what we talk about today.
Sounds like a great plan. So let's do that. So when you think about commitment, one of the things that, of course, Denny, you and I like to do is define it. What do we mean in the context of commitment in respects to hardiness? Well, when we think about the definition, what you're really talking about is being fully engaged into your life and seeing most of the things that you do as very meaningful and interesting. And in the end, if you really consider it from the perspective of why that matters, we are way more likely to be resilient when we are doing things that matter to us, that we enjoy. And so when you think about bouncing back, commitment turns out to be one of the foundational elements of hardiness. And when you consider this idea, you and I love to use quotes. There's one from Sam Walton that I love. He once said that if you love what you do, you will be out there every day trying to do it the very best you possibly can. And I love this part. It says pretty soon, everybody around you will catch that passion from you. And we really do know that mirroring happens neurologically. So if you can get this one right, what's great is that you will be impacting your personal and professional relationships in a very positive way. So one of the first steps to understanding why this one can really be a catalyst for your growth to bounce back, you have to find out, where is my level of commitment today? So when we look, just like we did with control and challenge, there is a low level of commitment. There's a moderate or a mid-level of commitment, and there's also a high level of commitment. And when you look at the differences, you'll find that when we are in our low commitment modes, we don't have a strong sense of purpose or passion. We're not overly interested or overly engaged in things. And it's likely that we don't even see things that are new or even in a social aspect intriguing enough to try. If we move to that moderate zone, now we know we have purpose. We're likely to take deep pride in what we're doing and put energy into it. We often will work towards reaching our full potential, but again, there may still be times where there are things that don't connect. So it's still a little bit of a holdback. Comparative to that high commitment mode, this is where you have that strong sense of purpose, and you are really not going to let anything get into your way. You have high attentiveness, and you are in tune with what you want and what you need. So when you hear that, your first step is to say, which one of those sounds like where I'm at right now? And then, of course, reflect. Is that number something that I feel like I am comfortable with? And if it's not a level that you think you want to be at, then you need to grow. So Denny, why don't you share with them some of the strategies we've used to help you raise your level of commitment and increase your hardiness?
Absolutely. If you remember, these do connect back into our bounce back factors. And this one is around the spiritual element, our drive, our commitment. And so there's that word again, commitment. So what are those steps to drive commitment? First and foremost, one of the most important things is to create your ultimate purpose statement, your up statement, or as what Sarah and I say, lifts you up. And this can take some time. And so as you're developing that up statement, what we want you to do is identify some of those passions. What are things that you're passionate about that excite you, that get you up in the morning, whether it's work related or things in your personal life? And we need to have both. We also would challenge you to be mindful. Be mindful in the moment as to what's going on around you. It's about being present and also seeing the possibilities that are right there in front of you. You've probably heard us say this before, but we think this is so important, is to practice gratitude. What is it that you are thankful for? And one of the things I know that both Sarah and I do is I put things around my office and even in my house that will remind me of things that I'm thankful for, whether it's a picture of family or something that I've done from work, but things that will help center us and focus us and say, these are things that I am committed to. And one of the other things that's extremely important is to have a support system that will help you be accountable, because we know in tough times, it's very easy to get sideways. So who is it that you will have help you, guide you in this time? And then also recognize that this is going to be challenging and there will be times we get knocked down, but the key is how quickly we get back up. And that is the bounce back factor. So if you look at all of these things, we've talked about challenge, we've talked about control, we've talked about commitment. All three of those help drive our hardiness and resiliency. So this challenge does continue. And first of all, as we've always talked, it talks about starting as an individual. What are you going to focus on? Think of something you can do within the strategies we just shared with you to increase your commitment. And then secondly is to invite others on this journey with you. Show them the video. And also in the handout, we'll put just a couple items in there on how you can drive commitment within your team. So as we say at the end of every one of these, it's go time. So let's do this.